Lord's Resistance Army of Northern Uganda has abducted thousands of children, subjected them to torture and sexual violence, and forced them to fight in a violent guerrilla army for 21 years, making it the longest-running war in Africa. In hopes of providing protection from this rebel militia, the Ugandan government forcibly evicted its northern citizens from their homes, giving them only 48 hours to relocate into camps. Today, more than 1.5 million northern Ugandans remain far from secure, suffering nearly 1,000 deaths per week due to inhumane living conditions in the camps. Displace Me is a simulation I attended in Chicago on April 28 and April 29, 2007. It was a nationwide event giving Americans a chance to respond to the crisis in northern Uganda. Its goals were to educate participants about displacement camps in the north by simulating the experience of living in an IDP camp. The night was separated into several sections which were organized by a video displayed on a huge blow-up screen. Testimonies by those living in the IDP camps explained what they do on a daily basis, and then we were given our turn to do the same. When the people of Uganda were displaced from their homes, they could only take with them what they could carry. Each family was given a hut that looked identical to that of their neighbor, so they decorated them to make their homes extensions of who they are. We were instructed to do the same with our cardboard huts. I built mine out of cardboard boxes, tarp, spray paint, and tape. It was the middle of April in the windy city of Chicago, so the challenge of constructing a sturdy home out of sparse resources proved extremely difficult. Women in the IDP camps make a 2-mile trek to the well to collect water. Sometimes they make this trip several times in a day, fetching water for all the men in their family. In our own camp, we had to get our rations of bottled water and a package of saltines by making several trips for each person in the group. Women got the water, men got the food. I asked a nice man to get my crackers, and in return I got his water. A college student named Stephen appeared on the screen and explained the divide between northern and southern Uganda, that there are people only a few hundred miles away from each other who have no idea about what is going on in the camps of Gulu. He encouraged us to call 5 friends to tell them about what we were doing that night and why. We also wrote letters to our senators demanding our government's support of the peace talks, which will allow the Acholi people to go back to their land and the abducted children to return home. We were given 21 minutes of silence to represent the number of years northern Uganda has been in civil war. I sat next to my fellow displaced people, all quiet, wondering what we as a nation could possibly do to help these people out of the war. As I returned from the silent time, I met on the screen a few young boys who explained that they are still night commuters, going to the center of town each night to evade being kidnapped by the LRA. These young men tell us that they fear because they don't know what will happen to them. Will the peace last? They don't know. As you go to sleep tonight, dream of us. I don't know that I slept long enough to dream about much of anything. I woke up to people's voices, a loud horn, and beautiful sounds of a Ugandan choir. I overheard laughter and someone saying, "I'm just ready to get in my car and go home." Waking up several times in the night, shivering cold, I thought the same thing. Then I realized in Gulu they can't go home. This isn't real because we haven't escaped, but for them this is all they know. Struggle, strife, hunger, and frustration. This is home. Being a part of this event has changed my perception on many things. I left Chicago, returned to Minneapolis, and continued my life, but I also continue my support in ending the war in northern Uganda. The Invisible Children organization has made so much progress, and since Displace Me, has gained the support of over 300,000 Americans. Every war has an end.